The Jacksonville Jaguars put on a gritty and dominant effort in Duval today to take down Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers.
You are Locked On Jaguars, your daily Jacksonville Jaguars podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
That is an absolute fact. I am Tony Wiggins. It is your team every day. And you are listening to Locked On Jaguars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the number one podcast network in the world. That's right. And I'm Tony Wiggins here. Glad that you joining me, making us your first listen here. I can't even talk because I'm so happy that the Jaguars actually gave the fans something to cheer about today. We'll get to that in just a second. First, we'd like to let you know that we are Locked On Jaguars, and wherever you get your podcast, make sure you tap into that location each and every day so you do not miss an episode like this episode. And I'm glad so many people decided to join us today. We're your team every day here. I got to tell you where we're going, man. The defense played with fire and passion. We'll discuss that in segment number 2. The offensive line dominates the Chargers. That's where we're going to start because a statement was made today. A statement was made that this team is just going to go and play better. They were missing people. They looked like they got chewed out all week. They looked like Anthony Campanile put BTA. I know y'all used to be saying BTJ for Brian Thomas Jr., but this was built to you know what. It seems like there was more purpose. There was more, guys. I heard the announcer say that Campanile broke it down, busted it all the way down to the studs. But whatever it is, it happened, and it helped today because the Jaguars win 35-6 in the most dominating performance that they have had this entire season. This is them at their best. And I have to remind everyone, the Jaguars actually have actually played in their last 8 quarters of football, 7 very good quarters of football. We were so down because of that 4th quarter against Houston where they gave up a game. So really, if you look at it in its totality, the last 8 quarters of football that they've played, they have dominated 7 of those quarters. It just so happens it works out this way. Jags moved to 6-4. This is an impressive win because they were missing people. Both teams were missing people, but in this case, the Jaguars were missing people, and they still came out and played their absolute best. Now you just have to hope that the people who were on the sidelines watching, the people that were hurt, some of them who were struggling before they were hurt, others aren't struggling, but you got to think that they are chomping at the bit now to get back. And I'm talking about Jordan Lewis and Brenton Strange and Anton Harrison. And and Brian Thomas Jr., they're going to need him too. Can you imagine if the Jaguars get back a Brian Thomas Jr. that's about 90% back to where he was last year when he comes off of this little break? I'm telling you, man, they got a shot. And I'm going to throw Eric Murray in there to boot. The Jaguars look good today. They look very, very good. I'll go through some stats for you in a little while, but this is a statement game because the Chargers were a team that, as it's currently ranked, were ahead of them in the playoff race for the wild card. And that's probably going to change now because the Jaguars handled their business. They did not drop to 5-5. They have increased their position in the AFC. So it's something that you all wanted to see, and you wanted to see it the way you wanted to see it, right? So Liam Cohen has talked so much about having his guys just rip it and play confidently and let's go. I think what he did today was coach that way. He coached in a way that showed his team he has confidence in him. Even if he sometimes has reason not to, we all get that and I understand it. He coached today. It's almost like, okay, I'm going to be what I want. I'm going to be the thing that I desire. Like you want a relationship to work and you want whatever to work. I'm just going to be that dude on my side and then we'll see what happens. And that's exactly what happened. And I think they grew more and more confident as the game went on, because one thing I can tell you, they were in field goal range several times, and y'all know field goal range from Cam Little when he's hot. Field goal range for him, man, is somewhere in St. Augustine, right? But they were it was under 50 yards. They had a chance. It was under 50 yards, and it was like, nope, we're going for it. And sometimes it worked, and sometimes it didn't. But I think what that was is all about instilling confidence in your quarterback, instilling confidence in your offensive line, and confidence in your defense. The Jaguars were absolutely fabulous today in all facets of football. they were actually, I use the word compliment, they were really, really complimentary of each other. The defense got after it. Josh Hines-Allen broke the sacks record. Congratulations to Josh Hines-Allen. He broke the sack record. Tony Bracken's sack record with a sack today, and he got his hands on the quarterback and fought through it. Trayvon Walker got through for what I believe is 1.5 sacks. I'll double check that here in just a second. But huge effort from the Jaguars today, man, in all facets of the game. And if you'd have taken Liam Cohen's words, the words that he spoke when he first took this job about what they wanted to play like and how they wanted to be and how you wanted this thing to look, outside of the fact that Travis Hunter isn't there, so you don't see him playing, this is pretty much it. And Trevor Lawrence, bless him, man, turned right back into the Trevor that I always talk about, South Middle Georgia Trevor. He turned right back into that dude today, made a bad play early in the game. But the thing I do like is that he did not let that bad play linger. He did not let the early interception, the ball should have never thrown. He did not let that linger, and he was able to get back on it, get back on his horse, and get after it. And really, really impressed with his play today. I'm going to run through the stats here in the second half of the show as opposed to going through all of that. Y'all know I'm going to just give you the ones that were most relevant to their dominance as opposed to just going through the entire thing. But a lot looked good from the Jaguars. We're going to really talk about their defense too. But first, before I do that, I want to give another shout out to the offensive line, man. Ezra Cleveland coming back seems like it made a tremendous difference. He might be their best offensive lineman, by the way. Ezra Cleveland might absolutely be their best offensive lineman. So, Duval, I know y'all happy. I didn't make it to the game, but I know y'all are going absolutely crazy, leaving that stadium, running Justin Herbert. We can end all that talk about them trying to get revenge, right, for these walk-offs every time that they come to Jacksonville, because that did not happen. All right, give me just a second here, and we'll go through some things about the defense. What it means moving forward. The Jaguars play at Arizona next week. They could actually get to 7-4 and be right in the thick of all of this stuff, especially with them having an effort like that, even when they were shorthanded. We'll discuss that and more here on a post-game show of the Jaguars 35-6 victory over the LA Chargers.
Today's show is brought to you by our friends over there at Peloton. Look, folks, it's time to break through the busiest time of the year with a brand new Peloton cross-training Tread Plus that's powered by Peloton IQ. It's Peloton's most elevated technology and equipment yet that gives you real-time guidance, and it gives you endless ways to move, whether you want to work out by yourself or if you want to work out with your favorite instructor, like my personal favorite, Alex Toussaint. He always gets me fired up to tackle the day. And the thing I like about Peloton, it helps me achieve more in less times. They have features that help you plan, stay motivated, track your progress, and Peloton IQ also provides personalized workout plans and recommendations. That's something that I use right now during the busiest time of the year covering the NFL. They plan my workouts for me based on my mood, my vibe, and also my favorite instructors. So make sure you check it out and use it, because it also helps you correct your form in real time, and it maximizes your reps. It counts your reps so that you can do it smarter, safer, and more efficient. Let yourself run, lift, flex, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton cross-training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
All right, today's show is sponsored and brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA's back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game and want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. So right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, man, we ripping and running here on Locked On Jaguars. A victorious Sunday here on Locked On Jaguars here in Jacksonville as the Jaguars win 35-6 in a dominating performance over Justin Herbert, Jim Harbaugh, and the LA Chargers. Started out a little slow. They came out, kind of moved down the field pretty good, turned it over on downs with a throw that Trevor probably wishes he had back. And then the Chargers went down and got them a field goal. And then after that, the Jaguars got the ball again in the second quarter. Trevor then threw another. I think they scored a touchdown, and then Trevor threw another interception when they got it back, and the Chargers hit another field goal, which made it 7-6. After that, the Jaguars just seemingly dominated this football game, man. They got after the Chargers on both lines of scrimmage, asserted their dominance in this game, and basically did all of the things that Liam Cohen has talked about wanting to do, and all of the things that the fans have thought this thing was going to look like once it got rolling. They actually came out and performed that way and did it in real time and dominated this football game. I told you I was going to give y'all some overall team stats. The Jacksonville Jaguars outgained, this is going to blow your mind, they outgained the Chargers 345 to 135. That's not passing yards. That's not any kind of broken statistic. That is total offense. This is how dominant the defense was. Only 93 yards passing total, 42 yards rushing for the Chargers, 22 minutes of time of possession. So the Jaguars had the ball almost 38 minutes in this game. And third down percentage, the Chargers were a very good third down team. They only had 25% conversion rate. The Jaguars got 50%. So they kept the ball. How often did we talk about things like keeping the possessions, converting on third downs? And then we talk about it in reverse, getting the other team off the field. Yeah, so 3 sacks for Jacksonville, 1 interception. Trevor did throw the 1 interception, no sacks for the Chargers. So we were concerned about which line would fold and buckle under the pressure of having those injuries and having their depth. And then the Jaguars had just been struggling anyway with their protection. The last 3 games, Trevor Lawrence had been sacked 20 times. So for them to fix that with just the presence of Ezra Cleveland and without Anton Harrison in the game, it just made everything work out a whole lot better for Jacksonville, man. And they only have Trayvon Walker here with a half a sack. That is incorrect, unless they ruled the play earlier in the game that he did not get a sack. I thought on the bootleg from when Justin Herbert bootleg, he was sacked by Trayvon. Maybe they called that a running play because it was some sort of designed run or whatsoever. But yeah, that's what it is, man. The Jaguars dominated this game offensively and defensively. Of course, Foye Oluokun was all over the place. Dennis Gardeck putting pressure. I'll tell you who played real good, man. Antonio Johnson. Antonio Johnson got him a nice interception. I thought he was going to get it for a pick 6. But yeah, everything that you thought they needed to work on and the things that had really been a bugaboo for this team, getting pressure on the quarterback, getting them off the field, creating turnovers, guys running around playing like their hair on fire on defense. We didn't see the kicking game much today because they didn't have to punt. And then, like I said, they were being aggressive and weren't going for field goals. But even Trevor Lawrence recovered from one bad throw and then for the rest of the game turned into a really, really nice, solid NFL quarterback that didn't feel like he had to be Michael Jordan every single play. It looked like he was making his layups. And I'm not going to forget about somebody else, man, and that is Jacoby Myers. Somebody hit me up like they were on social media saying, man, we don't even see Diami Brown out there. He's not. There was only one play where he even went deep to him. We know what that means. Writing on the writing is on the wall. Somebody else has come in here and taken his lunch money, and that is Jacoby Myers. He led the Jaguars with 5 receptions for 64 yards and looked like their go-to receiver. I hope they give him a contract extension and keep him around. I really, really do. I want the Jaguars to make sure that whatever they do, they keep him. Shout out to Johnny Mutt for coming up with a couple of big plays and got one of them for a first down. 4 of Jacoby Myers' 5 catches went for first down. So that's like some Michael Irvin, Art Monk stuff that he was able to pull off today and just be a reliable person on third down for Trevor Lawrence when the ball is not maybe perfect, but it seemed like the ball was pretty perfect outside of 1 or 2 passes early from Trevor Lawrence. The Jaguars win, play well. All is well right now this Sunday. You can look in that mirror and be proud. It is Victory Sunday. We're going to have Victory Monday also. I got 2 pods coming for you tomorrow. One is the normal Locked On Jaguars, our everyday podcast. That'll be there. And then tomorrow afternoon with me, O'Brien, as well as Marquise Ogden, we'll have our Jaguar Squad Show, a 1 hour power-packed action for you. Also, make sure you tap into Locked On NFL. You want to find out what's happening with all these other teams that are in the Jaguars' way. You got 2 times to do it. Once with Tyler Rowland in the morning, and then slide through with me in the afternoon in the barbershop on Locked On NFL. We ain't going to get to your questions here today because this is a post-game show. I will look at them and obviously answer as many of them as I can, but I don't think y'all got many questions today. I think everyone's just saying, go Jags. They're back. They got their mojo back. They at least gave you a proof of concept today that the things that they want to fix, they are able to fix them. And it just comes down to this, and this is what we'll talk about tomorrow on our show. Play better. There wasn't no magic pill you can take, no magic free agents, no trades, no guys walking around the street that you can get to come on to this team. The people that they have on this team had to play better. They had to block better. They had to tackle better. They had to be a force on the offensive and defensive lines. They had to catch the ball, and they had to try their best to create turnovers and get pressure. That's what it is. Sometimes there's no magic theory to it. You just have to get to it. What you're trying to do, you absolutely have to do it. So we're going to give some game balls tomorrow on our Monday edition of Locked On Jaguars. Until then, man, you guys take care and enjoy this victory. We don't take you for granted. You all know we don't take you for granted here on Locked On Jaguars, man. I am super happy that the Jaguars won for the fan base. And we'll see you tomorrow, man. You spent, 16 minutes and 45 seconds with me here today. Thank you. Drive home carefully. We'll see you tomorrow on Locked On Jaguars. Jags win 35-6.